And now, how about all of you executives and news directors? Do you require the people who work for you for free to provide the additional service of blogging and updating and twittering and whatever else?
We don't require blogging or twittering, but the one thing that the way we're using it is monitoring social networks. It's like the old police scanner, except it's a police scanner for society. It's a police scanner for what's going on with people. Websites like Monitor.com and things that just constantly record and send out every tweet that's going on in the world. You can really find great stories and see things coming long before long before we would get them through traditional sources. So it's really enhanced our journalism. Just keeping an eye.
So it's radar.
Social networking. Yes, exactly.
It's funny. I feel like the twittering I do or the blogging is sort of the price you pay.
Do you want to tell people the movie, by the way?
It was Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Great little movie. Is a way to get to have a better sense of what's going on out in the country. And I find just by scanning the replies and scanning when we encourage people to say send in questions for an interview with Tim Geithner or the president or whoever, it helps. I mean, it doesn't necessarily, we'll use a few of them every once in a while, but it more informs me and helps me understand how to get at the heart of a story in a way that will really matter to the people who are watching or listening.
Katie, why do you do it?
Well, I do a variety of sort of internet things. During the convention, we teamed up with Dig and asked them for major questions they wanted to ask some of our political analysts. And so when I did a webcast following our traditional convention coverage, I was able, it does make you feel much more accessible. I want to give people a voice. Some of the questions were really smart. Some of them were really bizarre. And, so that's one of the reasons, because I want to connect. I want interactivity with the people who watch the show. I did webcasts because it was a more relaxed format for me, who's used to being a part of a 3-hour program and being able to do lengthy interviews and take them longer when necessary. And I thought it would be an interesting extension because we don't have a cable universe playground on, that we can participate in at CBS. And cable has its pros and cons for network reporters, just having been in both of those worlds. So, and then I Twitter and blog very selectively, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody gives a rat's ass if I'm about to eat a tuna sandwich. I mean, I don't even care.
Yay.
And I think some of it is so inane and narcissistic and bizarre, I don't quite get it. I don't know why anybody would want to read it, much less why I would want to write it. So, again, I Twitter selectively. I was coming to LA and I was going to American Idol and more importantly, coming here to USC. So I just sort of Twittered about it. And when I was in London, before I interviewed the equivalent of the Secretary of the Treasury, I Twittered that. Part of it is promotional, to try to draw business to the evening news, to kind of get people involved and make it more transparent, let them understand the process a little bit better. And when I was at a lunch at the White House before the joint address to Congress with George and all the anchors of the Sunday shows and the evening newscasts, and by the way, I was the only woman there, which I thought was really pathetic, that I wrote about that because we could talk about that, and it's not something that I would ever have time to devote to on my newscast, but it was great insight, a lot of it from George's great questions to the president. So again, I do it selectively because a lot of times, sometimes I just don't have that many interesting things to say.
I want to